What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to go over a rack I'm building for an idea that I have for my truck. Welcome to Flatland Jeeper. One more project that I'm wasting money on that I don't need to do, but I have an idea and I want to see if it'll work. So here we go. Jumping on the bandwagon with everybody else building their own truck bed racks. Recently, we borrowed a trailer from a buddy. Thank you, Carlos, if you watch this. Thanks a lot for letting us borrow the trailer. We hauled my YJ down to the local wheeling area, and it made everything so much easier than driving down there. So me and my wife were talking about it. We're gonna try and start planning in at least 1 or 2 trips a year and actually go camping. So we're gonna take the truck. I wanted to make it a little more useful. As some of you know, since I'm in the middle of doing all these house repairs that I can't get away from with my 100-year-old plus house, go figure. I need something that will make the functionality of the bed work a lot more, but also leave the bed open so that I can use it to haul stuff, buy long stick goods and haul it and everything else. So kind of designing as I go. I have an idea of what I want, but one thing that I wanted to do was get away from having bikes in the bed. So like when we wanted to go biking, we would throw the bikes in the bed of the truck. And I made this little guy here just out of a piece of cedar board and some of the blockheads, I think is what they're called, from Yakima. Works great, but I want to try and figure out something that is going to leave the bed open so that I can still use it. Now, chances of me actually using the bed and going biking at the same time are pretty slim, but I'm using this as kind of a proof of concept to keep the bed as open as possible, but still expand the functionality of the truck itself. So I don't ever think we will get into doing a rooftop tent. For what we do, they're big, they're bulky, they're heavy, they're not that easy to get on and off if you're not using it that much. But I do want to have a rack over the top at some point to either just expand the cargo capacity and keep clothes and other goods up top and keep all the extra fluids and parts and stuff for the Jeep down below. I don't know how that's going to go yet. I'm still kind of working on that idea, but right now, I'm just working on the base mount of the rack. Now, this is not my idea. I'm not that smart. I did a lot of searching on YouTube and found this out. So let's go over that real quick and I'll show you where I'm at. All right, so when I got this truck from my father-in-law, it had these cool little old man, I call it old man, but it's like I'm driving the truck. It had these rails on here that sat like this all the way from the front to the back. They were great, they looked cool, they were somewhat functional, but they would move a lot if I tried to use them as tie downs. They looked cool. They have a track system built into it that's just carriage bolts, so I thought it was nice. But like I said, what I wanted to do, it actually went all the way to the front and sloped down like this end here, all the way at the front as well. So it basically ran all the way up to there and then all the way to the back. When I got the toolbox, I figured out I cut them down so that it was just basically like this. Then I could throw the toolbox in, still had that rail because I kind of like the look. Then when I got the headache rack, the back rack, their little brackets are kind of whoever came up with the idea is good on them. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's not going anywhere. But I don't know if you can see it down there, if it'll focus. There's a little bit of like almost like a T bracket. If you want the toolbox, they sell an adapter bracket that raises the toolbox up for like 150 bucks or whatever. And I said, kind of screw that, I'm gonna see what I have in the garage. Found these 2 matching pieces of, I don't know, 1.5 by 1.5 steel. I don't know where they came from, but they were in the garage. So I had those, but they came out all the way to here. And that's why there's all this rust on here, is that they actually sat about like that. So they came all the way back, which I didn't really care. I was like, I'm not gonna worry about cutting them down until I need to. So ended up just zipping off all the bolts on this, pulled it out. Here we go. That was sitting there like that. So then cut that off, and now I have Unistrut. Everybody's using it nowadays because it is pretty versatile. It's pretty strong. I've played with this stuff a little bit in my days, not expansively, but I've put some together and taken some apart, especially the bigger pieces. The taller pieces get, the 14 or 12 gauge stuff gets really thick and heavy, and it's good stuff. So seeing other people work on it with their projects, so I figure what the hell, why not try it? So my idea is to have the bed of the truck always open, and first things first is what I'm working on is a bike rack. So a little sneak peek, but this is where I'm at. Basically I just used the same holes for that the previous rails were on there, and then I went and got J bolts and hooked it into here. I will probably end up getting an eye bolt and sinking it in down here, kind of similar to that, so I can have tie-ins at both ends now. But at this point, I kind of just zipped it together to see how it worked. I think at this point though, at this point, the way it sits, I think I'm only about, I want to say like maybe 20 bucks into it. A little bit of time, cut off wheel with a grinder, some hardware, and the Unistrut was actually the most expensive part. I think it was like 14 bucks or 19 bucks. I can't remember. But I'm only 25 bucks into this so far, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. So we will keep pressing on with the build, and basically what I'm going to be doing next, so stay tuned, is mounting these Yakima Wisp Bar bike racks on the outboard of the truck bed. Like I said, I'll still have this in case we want to hook up with some friends and go for bike rides. We can all go together, but I want to have these on the outside. Plus they're just taking up space in my garage, so I want to get them back on, get them back in use, and go from there. So we'll do some test fitting, some playing around with, and we'll see you next time on Flatland Jeeper with an update on the bike rack.